Dun Shows World. Welcome to Shows World, gamers. Josh here, and as this week draws to a close, I wanted to take a moment to look at this week's new game releases, gaming announcements, and a few news stories. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to join in on the fun. Alright gamers, as always, we will start off with this week's new game releases. And the big release this week was One Piece Odyssey. The game released on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, the PC, as well as on the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. This RPG based on the hugely popular anime was released today, and it's definitely our biggest game release so far in 2023. While there has been a lot of games based on this franchise, this is looking to be a little bit different of a game for the One Piece fans. We did play the game here on the channel, so definitely check out that video. I will link that at the end of this video. Now, There Is No Light Enhanced Edition released on PC this week. The upgrade is free for anyone with the game. The game looks really good. The gameplay looks fast, and it kind of reminds me of Hades, so I'm really looking forward to giving it a shot. It is listed to have console releases on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, and Xbox One, as well as Xbox Series S and X. Unfortunately, there has been no news on the console versions in some time. Hopefully this changes soon, because this looks like it could be a really fun game. Next up, Netscape. They kind of show it as NES capital Cape, like the Nintendo Entertainment System. Anyways, Netscape, it released this week, and it is an 8-bit pixel-style puzzle game that plays in the style of modern-day escape rooms. The game is out now on Nintendo Switch and Xbox systems. I think this indie game looks like it could be a lot of fun, and with a budget price of only $4.99, this looks like it could end up being one of those fun indie hidden gems. Next up, Children of Silent Town released this week on the Nintendo Switch as well as on the PC. This game is listed as a dark adventure game that tells the story of a young girl named Lucy who lives in a village deep in the forest. The game has a nice artistic look and presentation. Unfortunately, it is a point-and-click game, which isn't my favorite game style, but it still looks pretty good. If you're into those style of games, I would definitely give this a shot. Lastly, Vengeful Guardian Moonrider was released this week on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, and the PC. The game is being called a retro-inspired action platformer following a cyborg ninja's full-throttle fight against ruthless totalitarians. If you're a fan of 16-bit side-scrolling action games like Contra or Strider, I highly suggest checking this game out. It looks like a lot of fun. Next up, let's take a look at some gaming announcements for this week. Now, Outpost Infinity Siege released an official announcement trailer, and this game is looking really good. We can see some stellar-looking first-person gameplay, along with some of the strategy elements in this impressive-looking tower defense game. It is showing a Q3 release of this year on PC, but I'm hoping we get a console announcement soon, because I think this game would look really good on the Xbox Series systems or the PS5. Now, Chef Life, a restaurant simulator Michelin trailer released this week. Nacon and Studio Cyanide are pleased to illustrate their collaboration with the Michelin Guide. This looks to be the most in-depth cooking and restaurant simulator to date. The game is scheduled for release this year on the Nintendo Switch, Xbox systems, PlayStation systems, and the PC. Now, in a surprising announcement this week, Netflix Gaming announced, and then they actually just released their biggest title so far. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is available to download now on your mobile device through the Netflix app, and at no additional cost. Shredder's Revenge was one of my favorite games released last year, and I highly recommend everybody giving this game a shot. Now, NYXI Gaming did unveil a really impressive new controller coming to the Nintendo Switch. The NYXI, or Nixie, Wizard has the appearance of a classic GameCube controller, but has Hall effect joysticks to eliminate drift, interchangeable joystick rings, tactile shoulder buttons, illuminated A, B, X, and Y buttons, and has USB charging ports on both left and right sides of the controller. Now, it can be split and slid onto the Joy-Con rails on the Switch. The controller is out now at a price of $69.99, but it's selling out pretty quick, so you're going to have to keep checking on this one if you want to get your hands on it. Now, Microsoft announced this week that they will be doing a presentation unveiling the first half of 2023 game lineup for the Xbox. The Developer Direct is scheduled for January 25th. Starfield will be getting its own showcase, so it's not expected to be there. Now, Redfall, The Elder Scrolls Online, Minecraft Legends, and the new Forza Motorsports games have all been confirmed that they will be there, but I'm excited to see what else we may see. Rumors are already swirling that we may finally be seeing GoldenEye 007 and possibly our first real look at Fable. Alright gamers, let's finish up with a few news stories from this week in gaming. Now, a new studio was recently formed, consisting of a number of employees from Playground Games. The new team is led by Forza Horizon 5 creative director Mike Brown. The new studio is named Maverick Games, and their first project is already underway and being explained as a premium open-world game for consoles and PC. The new project is undoubtedly years off, but I am interested to see what they come up with, as Forza Horizon 5 was an absolute masterpiece and one of my favorite racing games of all time. Now, Giant Freaking Robot, a source known for movie leaks, has reported that on the heels of what is looking like it's going to be a surefire box office hit with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, animation studio Illumination is now moving on to an animated Legend of Zelda film. At this point, we have no concrete evidence this project exists. I have heard a lot of predictions Zelda would be next, but personally, I'm a little skeptical of the validity of this leak. So we'll keep our eyes on this, but I don't know if we're going to hear much more. Now, in some disappointing news, Ubisoft seems to be really struggling financially as a company in this current landscape. They announced their holiday releases of Mario & Rabbids Spark of Hope, which I played and I enjoyed a lot. You should definitely check that game out. As well as Just Dance 23. Well, they both fell far short of the expectations that had been set by Ubisoft. This has triggered the cancellation of multiple titles the company had planned. We also got news that Skull and Bones has received yet another delay. Now, Ubisoft has some big titles scheduled for this year, so hopefully they can get back on track. I was hoping for a new Rayman game at some point, but that's not looking too good at this point. Now, we are only a few weeks away from the opening of Super Nintendo World's first theme park in Universal Studios Hollywood. It's scheduled to open on February 17th. We also know that an expanded, larger version of Super Nintendo World is scheduled to open in Florida in the upcoming Epic Universe theme park, coming to Universal Orlando in 2025. Well, this week, we got news of a new Universal theme park coming to the Dallas area in Texas. This all-new theme park is going to be a smaller, geared more towards the younger guests. And we have seen some concept art, and it does not look like there will be a Nintendo area, but with the popularity of Nintendo in the parks, speculation has begun that they could be opening a Nintendo area to this theme park before construction actually begins. Now, the Consumer Electronics Show 2023 did take place in Vegas last weekend, and it kind of ended up being a little quiet once the doors opened for the show floor. Most of the gaming news came from Sony Showcase, which took place last week, where they showed us the trailer for the Gran Turismo movie, some PlayStation VR 2 Gran Turismo 7 gameplay, and the really cool adaptive controller, Project Leonardo. Now, I was hoping we might get more news out of the Arcade 1UP booth after their really disappointing lineup announcement for this year, but we actually didn't receive any more news. Other than that, there was a few controllers shown off, but that was about it for CES this year when it comes to video games. Alright gamers, that concludes this week in review for the week ending on January 13th. The week started with the Consumer Electronics Show 2023 show floor opening up. Then we attempted to secure our spot for a Super Nintendo World in-person sneak peek, and the week ended with the release of One Piece Odyssey. But let me know anything we may have missed in the comments, and thanks for joining us today, gamers. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You guys have a fantastic day. Coach World out.